What can I tell you after this introduction, actually? Eric, I've done 7 90 days run in 5 years. This makes it very incredible. But as you heard, today I'm here with you to celebrate something very special. Actually, I'm only 5 years in network marketing. So I've just finished my 5th year of apprenticeship in network marketing because I'm still learning. And today we will learn something about leadership. Leadership is a very sophisticated topic. You know why? Because we tend to call people leaders too early. Someone has 2 people in the team. You know, my leader has already 2 people in my team. He's not a leader. This person doesn't know what they will eat tomorrow, so they cannot be a leader. Leadership is something that comes over the course of time. When you want to become a leader, I was doing some research, because when I hear these words like comfort zone, leadership, these words, they are used or misused many times. So I like to go deep and find out more also about the root of these words. And the leader is a person that shows the way. But to show the way, you need to know the way. If I would ask you, what's the goal of your life? Can you really point me to something? Do you know exactly what you're working for? I've done this exercise many times with my team, especially the one that don't have so much contact with me. And I tell them, okay, I give you 5 minutes, write down your goals. They all point to the levels of our career plan. This is not a goal. This is what you need to achieve to fulfill your goal in life. Otherwise, I'm going to ask you, what do you need the money for? Before I came here, I couldn't know, ragazzi. I don't know if you know, but I have Italian roots. So when Eric did, you need to have the hands like this. Italians have always the hands like this, We have no issues with that. And what I didn't know is that Italy is taking over Go Pro. How many Italians are here in the crowd? Not. and they are not from my team, okay? Every time when I have a speech to people that I don't really know, I want to give them a piece of me. And for me, this is also a sign of leadership towards myself, because I'm a very introverted and reserved person. I really struggle to tell stuff about myself. But over time, I found out that people cannot identify them with myself if I don't give them some pieces of me. I will never tell everything about my life, but I decided today to give also some pieces of my childhood, of my life that led where I am today. A part of the fact that I'm going to give you lots of Italianity today, but I'm trying to explain leadership with one of the biggest symbols that even exists in Italy. Everybody knows about it. Not everybody has seen it. The Colosseum. Who of you has ever seen the Colosseum in person? Okay, 2/3 of this room. The Colosseum is a masterpiece. And it's funny because normally the people who know me, I have this fixation, this obsession of going to the moon, right? But this year, our company convention was held in Rome. And I had the chance to visit again the Colosseum. And when I was standing in front of the Colosseum, I said, okay, I see the building of a network marketing business like the building of the Colosseum, like the building of a monument. And I was visualizing the fact that I couldn't sleep before the event, not because I had to talk in front of 7,000 people, which became normal in the meantime, but because I feel always a big responsibility before of this event. Like I feel the responsibility right now. It's one thing when you speak at the events of your company, of your team, and it's another thing when you're allowed to speak in front of a generic audience like you guys. I don't know, who of you have children? Okay. Have ever children from other families come to your house to play with your children? I don't know if with you it's the same, but we tend to pay more attention to other people's children than to our children in that moment, right? So I will pay more attention to you than I'm paying attention to my team right now. The fact that I want to be honest with you, because all the other things won't help you. So today you will get unfiltered leadership content from me. Are you okay with that? Before this event in Rome, I couldn't sleep. So I decided to dress up and to go to the Colosseum, which looks exactly like this when you visit the Colosseum at night. And I was touching these stones. Actually, you're not allowed to touch them. There is something protecting, but nobody was there, so I wanted to touch them just to get a feeling of it. And I was just thinking, how is it possible that something that was built 2,000 years ago is still standing? You know how this is possible? That the people that built this Colosseum, they didn't build for that moment 2,000 years ago. They didn't build the Colosseum for themselves. The Colosseum was built for eternity. And that's why today, 2,000 years later, we still can enjoy this Colosseum. This Colosseum became a proof of the power of the Romans. And we in network marketing are here for the same reason, not to just write another chapter that will be forgotten tomorrow. I'm not building a team that in 2 years will not be there anymore. I want to build a team. I want to build a business that will stand the test of time. I want to build a team that will stand forever, not because of me, because I will empower them and teach them to do that. And leadership is also legacy, because through network marketing, we have the possibility not only to leave a legacy, but to live a legacy while we are building our business. You have heard about the achievements from Eric. We have a very nice saying in Italy. It's called aria fritta, okay? It means fried air. This is when you talk a lot, but when you say nothing, okay? It's just blah, 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 blah. From me today, you're not gonna get aria fritta. No aria fritta today, okay? We have sold more of 1 billion euros in products in the last 5 years. We have developed 500 six-figure earners over the last 5 years. We have created more than 1 million earners over the last 5 years, of which 5 are here with me today. So who wants to know how we did this? Rule number 1, a leader creates clarity. Clarity. When I started in network marketing, I always say, either I have the most unimpressive story in the world or I have the coolest story in the world. I can promise you something, after today, you will have a very cool story to tell about what's possible in network marketing. But I was an IT entrepreneur before I started, okay? So my approach is strategic. I calculate. I need numbers. The first thing that I've done in network marketing was opening Microsoft Excel and building an Excel spreadsheet about what was possible in network marketing. With the duplication, 3 per 3, 5 per 5, I was making some assumption on how many points or how much volume everybody would produce every month, okay? The numbers looked amazing. I wanted to achieve that in 1 year. You know what I didn't calculate? The human being. I didn't calculate the human being. Have you heard about the retention? 80% leaves the business. I didn't know that. This was the missing thing. Because I assumed everybody wants to make money. Everybody has a certain work ethic. If you invest in a business to start a business, you want to keep doing the business. Nope, not in network marketing, apparently. And in fact, I didn't make it in 1 year, it took me 5 years. No problem, we are still very happy about it. But this map, this Excel spreadsheet, gave me so much clarity on what was possible. I'll give you another example. Who feels that this Go Pro is different? Right? It's very different. From the beginning, I have clarity that I'm going to learn something on the 6 modules, right? We are now at the last module. So we have learned about each of them, and once we are done with it, we master the skills of being a network marketing professional. So it's so important to give clarity to people. And one thing, show them the way. Show them what are the next steps. I know we always say, give them just as much as they need. Okay. But if I wouldn't have built this Excel spreadsheet, we wouldn't be here today. It's a fact. So tell them how their journey will look like in order that they can visualize. People, okay, this maybe people are not going to like me after this. We give too much importance to manifesting, visualizing. But if you want to visualize really what's the next step is going to be. So tell them what's the next step that is going to be on their career path, how they will achieve correct. What are we going to do on our onboarding session? How many steps will follow after I have done this and this and this assignment that you gave me? So it's important to create clarity. Very simple. Another thing that works very well in our business is, I'm sure that you know what I'm saying right now. You have the feeling that every month has a different flavor in terms of how fast the business goes, if people are here or they are on a vacation. I want you to go through your year and give to every month like the flavor that it has, and communicate to your team what you're going to do this month. Otherwise, everybody will be in holiday. Or what are we going to do in January? Otherwise, people will have first to wake up from hibernation, you know? This is all a part of the game to give them clarity right at the beginning of something. The other thing that defines a leader is action. Action. I don't know who follows me on Instagram, but I live either in Zoom or at the airport. These are the 2 places where I live. And I'm not in travel business, okay? So just... So action beats everything. Everything. You will always inspire people by showing action. You cannot expect from your team that they are doing stuff that you're not doing yourself. And you can talk about it, that you're going there, that you're doing this, that you're doing that. So we always should be right at the front showing how things work. What is one of the biggest problems that I see also partially in my team? People tend to become managers after a certain time. And this certain time comes very often too early. I have built a team of millionaires. I have thick leadership in my team. In theory, I could relax, right? So to keep going and showing action, I need to set my goals higher and higher. Otherwise, nobody is going to motivate me to go and to move and to go on. So take action, because this is going to be one of the most inspiring things for your team. Now, education is a big one, okay? We are all here to learn, right? Network marketing is a profession. Probably the only profession that you can start without doing an apprenticeship. The only one. And also the only one that you don't have to do an apprenticeship and you can become a millionaire. Very strange profession, right? Very strange profession. So we all should have an education plan in place. The work that Eric, Rory, and Marina have put in place to create this educational path in network marketing is the key. I haven't reinvented the wheel. Maybe I'm just here because I was the one that took this knowledge and put it into action. That's it. And in that, as you have heard, I'm very good at. The fact that you educate yourself and you educate your team will change everything forever. Because people don't move because they don't know what to do. But once they are educated, they feel empowered, they feel motivated. My son Giuliano is 11 years old. In Switzerland, he grew up with Italian and German, okay, because we live in the German-speaking part of Switzerland. And at school, they learn French. So there was a time that I could sit with him and we were practicing French vocabulary, okay, because he had this exam on Wednesday. So we were practicing. And the point arrived where he didn't let me finish the German word. He already was saying the French word. You think Giuliano was ready for the exam? He was very ready for the exam. On that morning, he was dressed up. I never saw him dressing up as fast on that morning. He was super motivated. He went to school, boom, highest mark. The same thing didn't happen before the math exam. On the morning of the exam, he had, out of nowhere, tummy pains. He had fever. Look, touch, puppy, touch. He didn't have fever, of course. But he wasn't educated. He didn't learn what he had to learn. Of course, he couldn't do this exam, so he stayed at home. Education is the key for us and also for our profession to have more credibility. There is no profession in the world that doesn't have an educational path, so we need to accept that. Leadership is more of a summary, okay? Leadership is our behavior, everything that is included, like having a vision, having a goal, making sacrifices. Making sacrifices is a super, super important thing. I grew up in a quite small town in Switzerland. We were living in an apartment. We were in a building of 10 floors, and as Italian families do, they somehow managed to live all together. So there was my grandma and my grandpa second floor. We were my aunt and my uncle at the third floor, and we were at the fifth floor, okay? So you can imagine, mama. However, my grandma, she's the boss of the family, okay? I have a quite grandma, okay? And she had this habit of coming to our house. She was not knocking, she was not ringing, she was just opening the door and walking in. You can imagine my father, she's the mother of my mother, so you can imagine my father, how he didn't like this. So in all this thing, my father, he was a big lover of sports. He was watching everything in television. This was cause of argument in our family all the time. My mother, why are you watching again sport? Blah, blah, blah. So I grew up with watching sport. And we have one favorite football club, which is Juventus Turin. Okay, Juventus Turin. I was watching every game with him. Every game. We were going to our favorite bar, watching the game. There was no game that I was missing of Juventus. Okay, no game I was missing. And the fact that I started in network marketing caused something very strange to happen. Because I was 36 years old. From the age of 5 until the age of 36, probably I've never missed a Juventus game in my life. The second I signed up in network marketing, I have never watched a Juventus game again. I decided to put my priority and focus on this because it became an obsession for me. I saw with clarity this blueprint, and for me, football wasn't important anymore. Do you think it didn't cost me to say to my father no when he wanted to come to my house, or when normally I would go to his house to watch the game? Of course. Today, in Juventus Turin, there are only 2 players that earn more than I earn. That's the consequence. So giving up on things that you love will give you time to do the things that we need to do in our business. And showing leadership means also creating a sustainable business. Sustainability is the key. Who has this naturally, this big mama or big papa syndrome in your team, that you are doing everything for everyone? And you think that if you go on holiday, you will come back and nothing will be there anymore, right? This is scary, because Eric is right when he's saying we have a job, we don't have a business. But when you have a business where everybody is empowered, they know what there is to do. When everybody has their goal set and they are working towards the achievement of their goal, they know what there is to do, with or without you. So, creating a sustainable business means empowering people, developing people. I use another Excel spreadsheet. I call it top 50 leaders. And the goal basically is to fill this list with people that you have developed in terms of skills, in terms of behavior. And I can tell you, it's a mission of life, because it takes a while until you have 50 people on this list that can cover between 50 and 60% of what you do. So during the morning, I work on my network marketing stuff, contacting, conversation, sales. And in the afternoon, I'm working on those people that I have on the list. And every year, I decide to put 3 new people on the list. And these are going to be the 3 new ones, not because I like them, but because they prove me that they want to grow into this business. And this leads to that topic, mentorship. You have heard, I don't mentor them because I like them. I mentor them because they proved, even without my help, that they were very hungry and able to achieve stuff. And I want to take the chance. I've never done that in public like this, but I'm going to do it, because there is no better stage. Eric was talking yesterday about defining moments, right? I signed up the 26th of November 2020, 5 years ago. And I was lucky enough, you know why? Because 4 days later, there was the Go Pro experience, 2020. I had no clue who Eric Worre was. Zero clue who Eric was. I was looking up because I knew there must be something. I knew there must be someone that teaches network marketing. So I found, bought a ticket, and I was a student for 3 days. This event opened my mind like this. So guys that follow us at home, pay attention that maybe in 5 years you're going to be here talking on stage. Pay attention. Because I was paying attention during these sessions until 3 a.m. in the night. And I saw people coming on stage being millionaires. And I said, what? I was just supposed to sell perfumes, I thought. And there are people that are making millions with network marketing. What is it? And I started working hard. We achieved diamond rank. Then I took my team and we went to Berlin, where Eric was coming and speaking. And it was during COVID time, so we all had to show our tests to go inside the event. 3,000 people were there. And I wanted somehow to go to him and tell him thank you for all this wisdom and all this knowledge. And I remember, Eric, I'm going to tell it. We were doing this group works about storytelling, you know, go deeper, go deeper, go there. So I disconnected from my group. I went here on the stage, and Eric was sitting here in the middle of the stage on his high chair. It was COVID, so we couldn't go too close. No? And I was there, and I said, Eric, come. And he was like, I can't. He was like this. And you know, everybody else would have been triggered the bad way. I got triggered the good way because I told to myself, okay, I'm gonna do what's needed to get in the proximity of Eric Worre. This was in March 2022. December 2022, I was in the $1 Million Hall of Fame of Go Pro. This was a defining moment for me. And while being at that same event, you know the exercise that he has done with you? With write down how much you want to make next year. He did it also with us. And I wrote on my sheet, 100K a month. And then he said, okay, that's not what you're going to make. So do like this and double the amount. 200,000 a month. I say 200,000 a month. I said, no, we are not done yet. Do it again and double again, 400,000 a month. I said, how? I was making, I think, 30,000 back then. How can I make 400,000 from doing 30,000? Okay, I didn't achieve it in 12 months. But within 18 months, I went from 30K to 360,000K. This is what happens when you find a mentor like Eric Worre and you do what's needed to go in his proximity, because this is how mentorship works. It's not that you take the coolest person or the nicest ones or the one that wants to go always to eat pizza with you. You take the talents that prove you with action that they could achieve already something important without you, and you have recognized this. You have recognized their hunger in their eyes, and you take them close to you. You mentor them so they don't make the same mistakes, and you bring them to the top with you. This is mentorship, guys. I found my mentor in Eric Worre, and I want to say him publicly, thank you for everything.
He done? I don't know if he's done. Sandro Leadership, everybody! Amen. So, the double and the double, right? The 100,000, 200,000, 400,000. Not to brag. How much did you earn in November, approximately, for this last month?
$830,000.
In 1 month. In 1 month. This guy is a special, special guy. Thank you for bringing value, my brother.
Thank you.
You can come and we can role play anytime. My man. Sandro Leadership, everybody. Give him one more round of applause.